Hello and welcome back to the Reapers. Today we're in our F-14B Tomcat. We're looking at air-to-ground with the mighty M61 20mm Vulcan cannon and the rockets. So the first thing is to go to the armament screen. We can have the rockets in pylons 1B and 8B, 3 and 6. We're going to go to rockets. The only thing we can carry is the 5-inch Zuni rocket. We can carry them in Lao 10 pods, 4 Zunis per pod with blast frag warheads. As shown here, we can carry a maximum of 7 pods, and we can only have 3 on this inner section here because that's all we've got space for, effectively. Next, we've got the Vulcan ammo. We can change the amount of ammo here in percentages, and we've got of the ammo type, high explosive incendiary, armor piercing incendiary, armor piercing and high explosive, or training practice. We're going to be fighting some kind of medium armor targets today, so we're going to go for AP and HE mix.
Request refueling.
Next, we're going to look at the controls that we're going to use. So to fire the gun and to fire rockets, we've got the trigger. And to cycle through our available weapons, we've got weapon selector up, weapon selector down. And I also like to use the bomb mode for the wings to keep us nice and steady for ground attack. So we've got wing sweep bomb mode. Okay, so we're armed up. Next, we're going to take off and find some targets. Okay, we're in the air now. There are some targets down on the ground in front of us, so we're going to start setting our plane up. First, in the front cockpit, master arm on, air to ground mode on, and this will take a little bit of time for it all to get ready for the tape to be loaded. Wings to bomb mode. This will restrict the maximum forward motion of the wings to 55 degrees and is suitable for ground attack. Next, we need to set the rockets up, so we're going to go to the Rio's compartment, let Iceman take control of the bird. Let's start at the top. First, on our weapon type, we need to select, and we're going to go to Lao 10. Lao 10. Attack mode must be set to pilot, which is the correct rocket firing mode. Fusing, we're going to leave the same as it is here. Delivery mode, we can have step, which actually means salvo, or ripple. If it's step, then when we press the trigger, one rocket will come out of one pod. Or we can have ripple mode here. This means that at a press of a trigger, all of the rockets will fire out of a single pod. And that's what we're going to use because it's just cooler. Next, we're going to select all the pylons we're interested in using. 6, 3, 8B, up to, make sure it goes up to B mode at the top. And 1, make sure it goes to B mode at the top. And that's our rockets set up. So in air-to-ground mode now, it's automatically got our rockets selected. So the symbology is extremely simple for this. It's a basic CCIP mode, as you would call it in a modern jet. We've got the crosshair here. What we're going to do is maneuver so that this crosshair and the dot is directly on a target. When we are out of range, this diamond here is shown, where when we are within range of firing, then this diamond disappears, but the rest of the symbology stays, and you can fire with the trigger. We don't have to add any lead to the shot because this will calculate based on our lead. As we got it set up, each pull of the trigger will empty a whole Lao 10 pod of rockets. So we'll fire 4 rockets at a time. Regards to the actual attack profile, I suggest 6,000 feet AGL or above in a dive of 10 to 20 degrees with speed between 400 and 500 knots. Okay, we're turning in now. We're going to zoom in, try and find our targets. We're not going to head down quite yet because we don't want to be too shallow a dive. We would usually run down the length of the targets, but I want to show the accuracy from this angle. Quick check of speed. Getting on for 450. So we're waiting until the diamond disappears and we're in range. The dive is a little shallow. I usually say between 10 and 20 degrees dive, but we'll run with this anyway. Note that we've got a pull-up queue here. If this pull-up queue reaches the path vector here, then we must pull up because we're at a dangerous altitude. We're in range. That's a bunch of pods trained. Looks like we got some hits. Let's go around again and finish off any remaining pods. When you pull the trigger, make sure you give it a good firm pull. On that first trigger, I didn't actually press it long enough to release all of the rockets out of one Lao 10. So a good, confident pull. Okay, we're up to altitude, heading in again. In fact, this time we're going to go to singles instead of, salvo instead of ripple. Everything else is going to remain the same. See if we can finish these guys off. See if we can get our dive right as well. We were too shallow last time. Let's see if we can get a little bit steeper. So I'm going to wait a little longer before we do our dive. Okay, that feels like it will be good. Bit of down trim, check the speed. A little more speed. In we go. Nearly in range, and prepare to get some. And boomy! We've got to have got something there. Yes, there's some flames. Okay, that's our rockets, and now we're going to go and do our guns. So for our gun, we're going to press weapon select up until we reach the gun, which we've now got shown. I can choose my gun rate. Do I want low gun rate or high gun rate? And we're going to go for high, because why not? We're going to turn back in, and we're going to use exactly the same symbology and methodology that we used previously. Okay, turning in now, exactly the same dive profile, and everything's going to apply, so 10 to 20 degrees, 400, 500 knots, so we're going to have to get some power on this thing. We're at a little higher this time, so down we go. Within speed parameters. Crosshair has appeared, and we're going to wait for it to range in. In range. Oh, we got some of them. We must have. Just on the right of the hook handle, you can see we've got 470 ammo left, so let's go around for another go. We didn't do any damage that last time, which is annoying, but let's try again. Okay, we're going to tip in again. In we go. We wait for our pipper to appear. 20 degrees dive at the moment. Here we go. So we get these blighters. Haha, that's more like it, sir. Very nice cannon. And let us just check our rounds. 70 more rounds. Let's use them up, and then that'll be the end of the video. And fire! Haha, weedy. Turns out the gun doesn't do a lot of damage to the... Oh, I think I got one. I did, I got one, yay! Right, so that's it. That's showing rockets in salvo and ripple mode, showing the gun. We can change the different rates of the gun and how to use the symbology. I hope that helps, and see you later.